Hey girls. So as you can see, today we are doing my hair and we're gonna have a little story time. And I'm a day late, by the way. I'm holding myself accountable. I am a day late, but you know I'm right on time. So I'm doing my hair today and we're gonna have a story time in honor of like Mother's Day just passing. And yes, I have a pimple, like, okay. So I haven't really been feeling that well, and yesterday I was like, let me just take one more day to rest before I start filming. And hopefully I drop this the same day, or hopefully everything configures and I can drop it today. So I'm about to do 2 strand twists in my hair, nothing major. Lately I've just been letting my hair be out even if I retwist it, and I kind of want to put it in something so it holds. But before I start, yeah, I just haven't been feeling really well, so I thought I'd get another day of rest. Another day of rest is over, whatever. So I hope everyone's Mother's Day was beautiful, and if it wasn't, you're still an awesome mom. And if you're not an awesome mom, seek Jesus. Seek Jesus, ho. So, and the noise that you hear in the background, my son is in the shower and he doesn't want to get out. And that's between him and God. I already washed him up, and I even washed his hair. And if he doesn't want to get out and he wants to get shriveled like a broom, that's his business. So story time is about, I guess you could say, like my first time being a mom and just the quarrels I went through. I feel like this is a really good chance for y'all to get to know me a little bit better, because you know, I would say like on social media I'm pretty low-key, and y'all get to see my day-to-day on YouTube sometimes, but we're gonna like actually have a conversation. So I became a mom April 3rd, 2018, and to be honest, it was a horrible experience. Not me being pregnant, just like the environment in which I was pregnant in. It was just very traumatic. It was, and I hate that word because it's very cliche, but it was so traumatic. And it was traumatic because at the age of 19 turning 20, turning 21, that's when I had my son. I was 21. I just didn't love myself enough, or I didn't respect myself enough. That's what we can all boil it down to. You know, when someone asks, you know, why did you have a baby with this person, or why did you, and it just be like, because I didn't know any better. Like, you know right from wrong, but in regards to like love and relationships, if nobody has taught you like things to look out for, or you know, reasons not to stay and stuff like that, you know, you don't do that. And sometimes when you are like misguided, or you're just out here on your own, that's what I felt like. I felt like I was out here on my own, because before I had my son, my stepdad and my mom were going through a divorce. My mom was moving out, and you know, she was doing her own thing and finding her way, and I just felt like, well, damn. And I have 2 siblings. I have a brother and a sister, and I felt like, well, damn, you know, my brother's older, he can do his own thing, and my sister has her dad to just like rely on him. And I was just like, yo, I'm just out here. I'm out here, you know. Gotta learn lessons the hard way. So I am, you know, I'm living in we're just gonna say the county. I'm living like in a county versus city. So I'm living in this county, but I'm working in the city. So I'm taking this big ass bus from the county to the city. I'm working, doing my thing, getting paid. No kid at this time. I have dreams of going to like FIT in New York. Seriously, I was gonna get a apartment and a roommate with this girl that like I think my father knew, and like she had a daughter, you know, stuff like that. So we were gonna get the apartment, and I'm dealing with this guy. He's like, oh my God, you know, bells and whistles. He's like, you know, you live so far, you can come and live with me, you don't have to do anything, you know, it's up. And you know, I'm young. I'm like, bet, as closer to work, I can get to work faster. One second. Yeah, so he's like, you can get to work faster, you know, just come and stay here. And I'm like, cool, because there was a lot of people in the house that I was living with, and I wasn't even living with my parents. I was living with friends. Like, we were all early 20s, you know, living together. Hot mess. And I was like, cool, you know, I can get to work faster, don't have to do too much. So I'm like, I accept. We start dating. Mind you, he's significantly older than me. We start dating, and at the end of the day, it just turns like violent. And if you know me, you know I grew up in a place that is not like where I don't see that. So, you know, even with my mom, my stepdad, never saw that in my life. Didn't grow up in that environment, so I'm just like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And I just stayed through all of this extra BS. And you know, the day that I finally decided to leave him, not the day that I finally decided to leave him, but like in the era that I was like, okay, I'm done. You know, it was his birthday, and I was like, you know, let me just say hello for the last time. And you know, my son was conceived, child. A mess, hot mess. And it's so funny. God was like, oh, you thought you was done? Here comes this life lesson. Get this karma. I don't know, you know, I can't pinpoint actually what the karma was for, but you know, every dog has their day. So I'm pregnant, and it just like spirals because I'm already not living on my own. I'm living with my aunt, and then some weird shit happens at my aunt's house. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go to my friend's house, and that is where I found out I was pregnant. Decided to keep the baby. My mom's totally against it because she doesn't like the guy, which I understand. And my godmother, you know, she expressed it to my godmom. My godmom's like, well, we can't beat her to the clinic. We can't beat and drag her to the clinic. She's grown. She's making her own choices. All we can do is like support. Love my godmom for that, because she was just like, girl, this is the reality. Ain't no kicking and screaming. The baby's here. It was just tumultuous from there. I'm like living in like a lot of different places as I'm pregnant. I'm crying all the time. Very depressed. I used to like write in my journal to my son. And just like confess like how upset I was and how sad I was. I don't even think I have that journal anymore, which is really good because I feel like that's just something that needed to be gone. Like, that doesn't need to exist anymore. That life is over. Girl, this is a mess. Not my hair, but just the fact that I have to use the back mirror. But you know, you gotta make it zoom to zoom, honey. So very tumultuous. My son's father wasn't really stable. Like, we had stopped living at the place we were living at. You know, lease is up. It was time to go, and because of certain circumstances, he really didn't have any luck getting another place. So I'm with my mom. We mobbing it out. Mind you, my mom is having her own, like, she's going through her own things because of divorce. My grandfather's sick. A mess. Just a mess. Like, and you know, what's crazy is I wasn't even working. I wasn't even working this whole time I was pregnant. And, but I had everything I needed. Baby was always taken care of, etc. By the grace of God, honey. Sometimes God will just carry you and hold you. So, and the last place I ended up living before I like got together. Oh, okay, so I ended up moving up with my boyfriend. Again, you know, my son is finally here, and I just start to see things that I thought had changed, like, come back up, and I was like, yo, I'm not doing this for the baby. I'm not doing this for my baby. It looks like I have no edges. I promise I do. And I'm like, yo, I'm not doing this. So he asks me if he can get a car in my name, and I'm just like, fuck no. No, I don't want to do that. He's like going into this tangent of like who's fucking with him and who's not. Guess what happened when you mess with like niggas in the hood? Like, ew, I had no business. No, zero business. But you know, my dad was in another state. My mom was going through her own thing, so I just had to figure it out on my own. Like, so, you know, whatever, you know, and I'm the kind of girl, which is like by default kind of bad. Like, I don't want to say I'm pretty much like a ride or die. Like, whatever you want, I'm on. Like, if we ride or we dying. You know, it could get bad. And, you know, it's up with me. Like, so, and I find this out, like, yo, I'm not doing this. I leave. He's very angry about it. He's very upset about it, but I'm like, yo, I just can't do this. Like, you're a whole man. I said that he was significantly older than me. I'm like, you're a whole man. You don't have it together. I don't know why that wasn't a red flag for me. Being young and dumb. A lot of us were there. So I'm like, yo, I'm not doing this shit no more. I'm not doing this with this man. I have this baby to focus on. I'm trying to up my life. I ended up moving in with my godmom. My godmom she is a heaven sent. Like, she's taken in many children of her own kids. At the time, I was best friends with her daughter. I'm living with them, and then I end up moving in with my sister. Now, I go from like the county to the city to back to the county. And so I'm living in the house that I lived in when I grew up, for real. But it was just not like, I guess you could say, conducive for a child to grow in. It was just a lot going on in that house because there's a lot of things that needed to be fixed. So I ended up again moving in with my son's father because he finally got it together and, you know, got his own things. And I'm like, okay, well, we're keeping this together for the child. We weren't together though, but, you know, some shit just had to be like, all right, well, if you want to start from nowhere, like, this can be pretty decent. We're not together, so it's not like anything is like expected of me or expected of him other than to, like, you know, hold this kid down, and I'm gonna hold you down for real. So that was cool until it wasn't. And this time it's like 2019. It's 2019 still. It's the summer of 2019. I'm going through it. Still not working, just being a mom. Always have money for what I need to do. Always have money for my kid. And this is where I begin to like build a relationship with God, I guess. Or like start to follow or get into more like spiritual things. Because I'm like, yo, my life keeps going in this cycle. And now I don't know how to get off this train, honey. I'm dizzy. I am dizzy. Mind you, I have a really good girlfriend who has a daughter that's a year older than my son. She's going through a lot with her son, with her daughter's father. I'm going through a lot. I knew her before. We had met like a year after high school. No, like the fall after high school. I started working at Nordstrom and she was working at Nordstrom. She lived in Baltimore. I lived in Columbia. We was lit. Like, when I say right-hand man. Like, and then she was messing with this guy in D.C. So she was always in D.C. and that's where I was. She was always in D.C. And we was just like each other's rock for real. Like, Drea had my back. And when she needed things or when she needed to talk or when we wanted to do things together, I had her back. To this day, that's like, we like this. That's really my dog, for real. Love her in every way. And so that's kind of how my summer went. We just hanging out. You know, my son's dad is like going to work. I think he's working 2 jobs. I don't know. And then this is so this is why I started to build like a relationship with God. I started to just be like, I want to get off this train. I don't want anything to do with my son's dad. I don't want to be with him. I don't respect him. I don't see him in any kind of way to where we could be together. I was never the kind of girl to be like, oh, I want my family together. Like, hell no, get me away from this man. If he wants to be a dad, cool. Kudos to him. So I start reading this book that I get from the library by Miss Iyanla Vanzant. I have the book in my living room. I forgot what it's called, but it's a purple book. And she has like these writing prompts. And I have this whole journal of writing prompts. And I just start to like get closer to God. I feel like that's my only way out. My only way out is like God. I'm also talking to this other girl that I met when I started working in DC. And she's going through things. And I'm just like, yo, you need a relationship with God. I feel like that's the only way out. Only way out of a tumultuous situation Only way out of the dirt is you need, I'm not saying you got to be godly and go to church and praise be the most high, Holy Ghost shaking, all of that. But I'm saying, like, you need to be connected to something because you out here wilding. That's how I felt with myself. And me and my friend just started tapping in, and life got significantly better. It's this instance where my son's dad just started to get really angry, and I was like, yo, I'm not doing this. So I ended up moving with my cousin for 1 month. I moved with him like the end of November, all through December. I get my first apartment January 24th. And it was just up then, like, I never forget, it was January 24th, a Friday. They're like, you're approved, here are the keys. Or they're like, you're approved when you try moving. I'm like, today. I had probably two bins of clothes. That's it. 2 bins of clothes, all my son's stuff. I ended up getting a job in the government. Life, when people be like, you know, when you leave somebody or you get away from somebody, then your blessings will roll in. They're not lying. Some of y'all need to get away from these dusty ass men. Some of you men need to get away from these dusty ass women with evil spirits. And that's the reason why your blessings are blocked, because you keep hanging around or you keep sharing your energy with this, you know, whatever. Aw. My boyfriend sent me this message in an email earlier, and he said something, and it beautiful. So, get my apartment. I'm working this job. It's $55,000 a year, which was really, really good for me, because I had gone from like regular retail jobs to being a like stay-at-home mom, I guess, and to like the government. Everybody's like, oh my god, I'm so happy for you. All of my family's like, good, great. Shout out to my stepfather, because he got me that job. Like, my stepfather is who I consider to be my dad, if we're being honest. Because I met him when I was 3. He was married to my mom up until he wasn't, and he's still in my life, and he's still in my son's life. If he's ever available to watch my son, he does. He sends money for school. He sends money for clothes, Christmas, birthday, every time. No hesitation. He's just like on it. My real father, you know, he was cool when we were younger, but I feel like he doesn't understand the fact that like being a parent doesn't end. My mom understands that. I feel like my mom understands. I feel like my mom understands that like being a parent doesn't stop because your kids get older. And I feel like my mom understands that I brought them here, they didn't ask to be here, so whenever they need something, I'm going to hold them down. So shout out to her. Shout out to her with a grain of salt, just because my mom, when I was pregnant, also did some really shysty things. And we're just going to chalk it up to tough love, because it made me see more. It made me see better. It made me see things not to do with my kids, etc. You know, sometimes being a kid, you think your parents are supposed to do everything, but sometimes you have to step back and be like, she's a person too, so she's gonna say no to some things, and she's gonna be like, I can't fucking do it, like, figure it out on your own, you know. But there was sometimes where I needed my mom, and she was a little shady. If you know, you know. Shatima was shady. This looks really good, by the way. I don't know if I can see. Y'all can see that. So yeah, I'm in my apartment, I'm doing me, so I'm about to start my job, and I'm like, y'all need a babysitter. So I find this lady on care.com, and to this day, like, she still watches my son if I ever need her. Shout out to her. Good thing it wasn't no scamming, it wasn't no like weirdo. That's really cool. That I found that. Is it these two that I put together? I forgot which 2 that I put together. It might be these 2. Yeah, I think it's these 2. So, I'm like, okay, I need care for my son. Oh, let's rewind this back. Shout out to my cousin. He's my age. He was living with his girlfriend, and she has 2 children. And we stayed there for a month. I do appreciate that. Like, I will never forget the people that helped me on my way up. Never. When I reach a Billy, we all touching a Billy. On my son. And so shout out to my cousin for that. Stayed there a month. I got my apartment. Moving in, I need, you know, care for my baby. So I found this lady on care.com. She's really nice. The thing about it though was you know, the thing about getting new things and when God blesses you, get ready for like a new level of something else you have to overcome. So I get my apartment. I don't have a car at this time. I need to eat something. I don't have a car at this time, so I'm driving, or so I'm taking public transportation early in the morning. Me and my son are up at like 5. We have to be at the house by 5:40. He's like 1. He hasn't turned 2 yet. He's 1. Oh, let's rewind. There were times I was going through things with my son's father, and my best friend, her name is Charmella. My best friend was like, yo, I can't do this no more. She was basically like, if you're gonna keep fucking with this nigga and just keep being in his space and keep going through this thing, she was like, I don't want to be friends anymore. I'm pretty sure it was draining for her. But shout out to your friends that be like, yo, you worth more than this, and I just can't be I can't be contributing to this stuff that I know you're not, like, this not you for real. That was low-key an eye-opener, because I'm like, well, I can't lose my best friend. Okay, me and her are like peanut butter and jelly. We like the same person for real. I like to say she's my better half, because I feel like she takes her time in life and I can be like a little rushy. But she's like me and I'm like her. So yeah, up early in the morning, 5 o'clock, me and my baby, going across town. Mind you, I'm up when it's dark and I get home when it's dark. It's the winter time at that. That goes on for a couple months. And then I'm working. 2019, 2020, the pandemic starts. A mess. The pandemic starts. And my mom is off, so she's watching my son now. I'm like, I told the lady, like, you know, I don't want my son in the butt, like, on the bus and on the train, all these strangers. He's young, you know, his little immune system. He just got here, you know. So, I'm like, you know, my mom's just going to watch him. Thank you for your help. To this day, she still helps. Bless that woman's heart. And so, so my mom's watching my son. I'm going to work doing my thing. I was an essential worker. Mind you, the work that I was doing was not essential. They lied. But you know how them people do. The pandemic was a mess. It was just a mess. I'm sitting at work watching YouTube all day. Swear to God. At work watching YouTube all day. And this is 2020. Yeah, this is 2020. And you know, I have a supportive system. I have my brother, my sister, my stepdad, my mom, my godparents. After my mom goes back to work, my son ends up going with my godparents. Now, he's going there. He's not going there every day. I don't have a car. So, he's going there all week, and then he's getting dropped back off to me on the weekend. This went on for like 4 months. I finally ended up getting my car in 2021. Got my car, and in 2020, I started talking to this guy. We talked for a little bit. We found out that we found out something, and then like we stopped talking. Horrible. It was like my heart broke. It really was, because I was like, yo, I know this is my person. And it's funny because before him, I wasn't really like looking to date. I wasn't really like dating. It wasn't really something I was looking for. I was just talking to some guys, very meaningless. You know, very like, okay, haha, cute, funny. Let's go on some dates. Let's go out. Smoking, ew. And I need to eat something really bad. And so, yeah. So I meet this guy. I go to Atlanta that year. I go back to Atlanta. And then life just gets better. At the end of the day, that's where the story's going. Life just ends up getting better. He ends up being my boyfriend. He's my current boyfriend now. Love him to death. Best thing I've ever known besides my son. I like to call him my angel. I feel like he is who God sent down here to watch me. Like, you need to watch this girl. I'm gonna make you her husband, but you need to hold her close. You need to hold her close. And that's how I feel about my godmother. I feel like my godmother is my angel on earth. You need to watch this little girl, okay? She needs someone like you around her. And I also feel like that about my son. I feel like God was like, look, I need you to watch this woman, okay? I'm gonna make her your mom, but you need to hold her close. Keep her on her toes. That's what God said when he sent my son. And which he does. Child, runs my life. But yeah, life just gets significantly better. And I say all of that to, in honor of Mother's Day and me becoming my first mom, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about things I don't want in my life. I learned a lot about having a relationship with God and how far that could take you. And people can be like, oh, you know, cliche, you know, people in the church, they evil. It's like, well, I ain't in the church. I'm just intuitively knowing that there is someone higher than me that I need to be listening to because I know that they have my best interest. And yeah, that's just how life got better for me. And something that I learned was when you are grateful, God will give you more. Here's an example. When you're young and you got shit all over the place in your room, you're not taking care of it, right? So your mother says, if you don't get this up, if you don't take care of this, I'm not going to do this for you. So they withhold, right? But if God sees you taken care of, I feel like when you take care of something, you're grateful for it. He'll give you more. Like, oh, you grateful for that? Here's some more. Like, here you go. And I feel like that's how it was in life. Like, oh, you're grateful for this blessing, or you're grateful to be out of that jam, or you're not doing the same things you were. Here's some more blessings. I went out the country for the first time last year. That was a blessing. I enjoyed that so much. I don't know why my son is still in the shower. He's already been washed up. I told him to rinse his hair off. Child, I don't know. He said he want to stay in there forever. I said I'm gonna let him. And that was my thing. That was my message to my friends. Like, you want to get out of the jam that you in, yo, you need a relationship with God on some straight G shit. Like, not even on no like, oh, pray and worship, and it's just like, that's not working. So come on over here and try this. I don't even know if this is the right one. I don't think this is the one that I want to do. But it's already started, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's how my journey went. I always tell people, like, it's always the prettiest faces that you think that have, like, the easiest lives, and we really be going through it behind the scenes. I promise you, like, it's not fun. It's not fun, but I feel like, if anybody, who else could it be? Like, I'm glad my sister didn't have to go through the things that I went through. I'm glad some people around me just had it easy, because I don't think that they would be able to, like, withstand and hold on. Not saying that they would kill themselves or something like, but I just don't think that they would be able to, you know, triumph through so much adversity. Like, and I've always been that kind of child. I've always been the kind of child to where I had to, like, learn on my own. Somebody could say, don't touch the stove because it's hot. And I'm like, well, I need to see what you're talking about, so I'm going to touch it. That's the kind of child I am. Growing older, I've kind of learned, like, girl, your life don't have to be that hard. If somebody say don't do it, just look at their mistakes. Like, I don't know where I stopped in this story, but yeah, guys, I just went through a lot with my son, and I prevailed, and I held myself down. I feel like the reward, like, I got to reap the rewards for a relationship with God through, like, a good man, great jobs, great relationship with my friends, you know, just, like, small blessings and being able to do the things that I want. And in regards to Mother's Day, don't be letting people say, like, even when I wasn't a mom, one thing I never believed was that you wouldn't be able to do things that you wanted to do just because you had a kid. I think that was the dumbest thing anybody could ever say. Like, yeah, life is hard. Most of us are black. Life been hard. Yeah, life costs a lot of money. Inflation. Life's going to cost money regardless. Like, shit's gonna keep going up. Don't have, I mean, it might have stuff to do with children and people being born in the world, but it's like, what can you do? Either get some more money or, you know, figure it out. But I never believed in the thought of like, oh, having kids is gonna, I won't be able to do this and I won't be able to do that. It's like, yeah, whatever, okay. Okay, Miss Stagnant. Okay, Miss, you let the kids kill your dreams. Like, I don't get that. I feel like, why would you be like, oh, I had to put my dreams on hold for my kid, when it's like, no, I turned my dream up because I had my kid, you know? I always thought that was so weird. Why would you let somebody psych you out of a natural process just because, like, oh, you won't be able to, what, shake your ass in the club? Been there, did that. Club's not that fun. What? Can't go out when you want to? I don't know. Shit like that doesn't bother me. I enjoy being a mom. I enjoy just watching this little person, like, just, like, learn new things. I'm glad. I feel like with motherhood, I'm glad that God thought I was worthy enough. What I think about children is, I feel like God was like, I need you to hold something for me. I need you to hold something for me. You need to feed it. You need to clothe it. You need to be nice to it, blah, blah, blah. Because if you think about it, I feel like a lot of parents don't think like this. Our children are not ours. Like, yeah, we gave birth to it, but, like, ultimately, these are God's children, and they're going to live their own life. You just have to, like, nurture it up so it can, you know, hopefully be the best person it can be, or, you know, just enjoy the riches of the land. But I just think of my son as, like, a gift. And God was like, I need you to hold this gift, and you will be rewarded based on how good you take care of your children. I feel like fathers, mothers that don't take care of their kids need to be in jail, because I feel like, what else are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just think of my son as a gift that God saw me worthy enough to, like, hold. God was like, hold this box for the rest of your life. You need to make sure the box stays clean. Make sure the box stays nice. You know, you got to put a couple things in the box to make sure, you know, it stays being a box. You know what I'm saying? Keep it away from water. You know, shit like that. Don't damage it. But, yeah, I always thought that narrative, like, oh, life's gonna be hard because you have a kid. Like, girl, what the fuck is you talking about? Life is fun, and it has brought me lots and lots of fruit, you know, because I have a kid. Where would I be if I didn't have a kid? Probably in another state, but that's probably, like, the only thing. I feel like I would just be in another state if I didn't have a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Need no more of that.
But
right.
Yeah, I'm almost done my hair. It's just in 2 strands, as you can see. They're getting longer, like my 2-strand process. Obviously, my hair is getting long. I feel like the easiest way I've been able to be a mom is, like, not thinking of it as a job. And like, when people be like, oh, motherhood is hard, I just feel like it's not really hard. It's a challenge because it's new and it's something I've never done before. But I feel like because I love this person and I love doing it, it's not hard. Like, being a girlfriend, it's not hard because I love doing it. I love, you know, I love this person, and the things that I do out of love, like, that's not hard to me, you know. So yeah, guys, that was my little story of how I went through tumultuous things. I don't know if you can read in between the lines. It was just very, like, volatile and just not, I don't feel like that's something that God blessed, you know, that relationship with Dean's father. And I'm going to be very open and honest with my kid as he grows up, about how that went. But I feel like it just made me a better person, because I know that's not how you treat people, especially somebody that's never done that or, like, been that kind of way. I feel like you just don't treat people like that. You know what I'm saying? I've just felt like, and you know, even when I was going through it, my son's dad used to say stuff like, oh, you just think you're so pretty and you can just get whatever you want and you can just have whatever you want. I've never ever used my looks to be like, oh, I'm just gonna get what I want out of people because I look this way. I'm always very humble when it comes to my look. People be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I used to be like, oh, really? Oh my God, thank you. Like, I appreciate that compliment so much. But I just remember times where I would feel like, damn, I wish I wasn't that pretty so I wouldn't get attention. You know, trying to make myself small for somebody who just, you know, never knew what it was to have a bad bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's a genre. But, you know, don't ever make yourself small for no man. And that red flag stuff is true, yo. The first red flag, like, if a man at that age don't have his shit together, that's a red flag. That was a red flag for me, but because I feel like I didn't have the most thorough relationship with my dad that I needed, I ain't know to look out for that. You know what I'm saying? When a man in your life is putting you on game, you know what to look out for and what to not look out for. Although I can say that I was pretty irresponsible in that, because there were men in my life where I could look to and be like, well, they don't treat this person this way and they don't treat my mom like that, you know, so I shouldn't be, you know, I shouldn't be involved in that or taking place. But I was just in life on my own, dilly-dallying, just doing me, like, figuring it out. I'm glad I figured it out early and I'm not, like, figuring that out now. You know, hallelujah, I'm delivered. Hallelujah. Seriously, though, I feel like now, if you want your life to change, you need to have a relationship with God, or just a better relationship with yourself, ultimately. You know, something else I learned about motherhood, in honor of Mother's Day passing, I'm going to keep saying that, is that, like, I don't jump up for my son all the time. I don't jump up and be like, oh, I'm going to get it, I'm going to do it. I'm doing my hair. I'm doing me. She is important. And one thing about me, I'm going to hold myself down. Okay? And you know, it's crazy. I was just about to say, I'm going to hold myself down if no one else does. My boyfriend holds me down. I will never be that kind of person. Like, oh, I'm all alone and I do everything alone. I don't. And I'm very proud of that. We transitioning into the soft life. How cliche that might be. But all of that, oh my God, you're so strong. Bitch, I don't want to be strong. That strong shit is for a man. I'm tired, ho. And I'm tired, ho. And I want to be soft. And I want to be taken care of. And I want to be held there. Like, ho, I'm not doing nothing by myself, okay? I got me your breath. But, yeah. Okay, especially because last week my son had an ear infection. I had to take off work and it was just a mess, and he had to go with my mom, and I just was getting a little frantic. I was getting a little, what's the word, like, stressed. I was getting, like, stressed about it, like, oh my God, you know, my first days of work and my son is sick, like, whatever will I do? So yeah, I'm gonna do my hair. I think my hair hasn't been done in like 3 weeks, which is really good, because when you have dreads, you don't want to like do them too much or they'll thin out at the root. And also, I wish people would stop saying, like, I wish people would stop saying, oh, they're called locks, they're not called dreads. First of all, you ever heard a Jamaican say a naughty lock? No, they say naughty dread. These are dreads. I'm gonna call them dreads. And what? I don't know. What the fuck is the difference? Ciao, anyway, so more in depth. And you know, it took me a while. It didn't take me a while. I've never been like ashamed of my situation. I've actually had somebody try to rub that in my head, like, oh, you didn't have no pots of piss in when you da da da. And it was like, okay, my child was still taken care of. Yeah, still have food to eat, still have clothes on my back. Like, I'm like, well, I don't know, what am I like? Oh, you didn't have a Ferrari, okay, bitch, and we was eating. Like, I don't know, I don't get that. That's weird. I don't know. I feel like, Oh, you don't have a pot to piss in? Okay, you live at your mom's. If she put you out, you won't either. Ooh. But but we're not gonna go there. But I always felt like, okay, but my child is taken care of. Period. And it's so crazy. I didn't have a job, but I had money. How? I don't know. I never know. When I run out of money, I don't know how I still be having money to get stuff. You know what that is? The grace of God, ho. I feel like when you just put your life in God's hands and you just be like, girl, especially this like physical world, this like material world, girl, just let God. If God ain't gonna do it, it won't be done. It won't be done. But I said I'm taking care of my man. I'm also taking care of by God. Okay. And that's so crazy. I used to grow up like, why do people talk so much about God? Why? Like, I have a grandma on my sister's side. Me and my sister have different dads, but I have a grandma on my sister's side. And growing up, oh my gosh, she was like the holy roll of Jesus. And you know, you young, you like, girl, this lady is weird. Like, girl, who is this man in the sky? But then you go older, you go through life, you have your own children, you go through these experiences, and you just be like, wow, I see what they was talking about. It'd be like the blessings in the little things. You have just enough to pay the bill. Just enough to da-da-da. You got it. It's covered. Stop worrying. You know, it's either you're going to have faith 100% or you're going to have none at all. And that's the kind of person I am. My boyfriend calls it blind faith. And I'll just be like, well, what else is God here for? Like, if we're not supposed to be putting our troubles in his hands, so you think I'm going to be worrying about some bills? Call God. Because I'm not worrying. I felt like that was, oh my God, when I was going through things that I was going through, I used to cry and pray and be like, yo, I don't want to worry anymore. And then I just stopped. It took me like 2 years though, but I just stopped. Like, fuck is a bill to God? You know, fuck is a car payment to God? Like, I ain't worried about none of that. Late on time, early, ain't worried. Yeah. If it's blind faith, it's blind faith. It is like, it is what it is. Wow, that's so funny. As I say the things that I'm saying, I see a message that like resonates. Cause you know we are in Mercury retrograde, and the thing says use this retrograde as an opportunity to reflect on everything God has gotten you through. As we sit here talking about the BS. I used to go through so much just stuff, and it just be like, you would look at me and be like, girl, what is you doing with that? With him? I feel like that's how my best friend was like, yo, I can't do this no more. Like, if you're gonna keep fucking with this nigga, like, I don't want to be around you, because it just gave like him and you, girl, stop. It didn't really take me a while, because I just got to a certain point where I wasn't really attracted to my son's father, but like I needed him. And I don't mean I needed him like, oh, without him I was gonna die, but I needed something that he had. And something that I've learned about growing up, I think I told this to my brother, was if you can't be used, you're useless. What was I saying? Oh, I used to tell my brother, like, if you can't be used, you're useless. People will ask God to use them and only want to be used when it's convenient for them. I don't care about nobody using me, or, you know, obviously I'm valuable. You can't like want to be used only when it's convenient. Obviously you have a gift. Whatever that gift is, a piece of advice, your house, your home, a piece of clothing, some food, some money. You know what, I really appreciate people that, even though money is a big thing, they don't treat money like, you know, they treat it like someone needs this. You know, if I got it and someone needs it, like, you know, depending on the person, like, they can have it. What the fuck? It's money, it's paper. We're gonna get it back. That's why, like, even when I had nothing, my friends would be like, oh, I'm gonna pay you back. I'm like, girl, for what? Even if it was $40, $50, I don't think I've ever let anybody. I've never let, like, oh yeah, I have. I actually let one of my friends, they was like late on their rent, and I think it was like $250. And they was like, I'm gonna pay you back. Girl, for what? The rent is paid. That's it. That's it. That's it. Just money. I'd rather see you up in your house than see you like, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's my little rant, my little story, my little comeuppance, and I'm still going. And this is taking me a long time because my hair is starting to dry. And I'm starting not to like want to do it. Whenever my hair dries, it starts to get like harder to do. But guys, my little two strands. Yeah, I'm just embracing the journey. Things get hard, and one thing about me is I'm a cry. I'm not ashamed to cry. I feel like crying helps me clear the path that needs to be cleared. That's what I feel like crying does for me. I feel like crying, like if somebody was to see me cry, you don't have to run up and hug me, like, hold the tears just falling. But I'm gonna figure this out. Like, yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately. Just crying. It's so funny because my godmom had called me because when I'm at, like, my godmother doesn't know me to be like in distress. Whenever I am in distress, it's always like, it's okay. So like when I'm in distress, my godmother called me. She was like, girl, I thought I was gonna have to tuck you off the ledge. I was really going through it. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those, like, I guess you could say like the strong friend. But I feel like I don't have to be so strong anymore. Because I'm one of those girls, my man, because it's not even him about being like my lover. It's just about the fact that he's in my life and he's such a good person. Shout out to, you know, all circumstances that led to him being such a good person. Because amazing. He really should go in the Hall of Fame of like the best people alive. Yeah, I'm just excited to my journey. So I wanted to get this off just so I could let it go. Oh, okay. So this is another reason why I thought I would speak on it, is because, bless me, my window's open and I have allergies. Let me close it. But I feel like there are some days that I feel like a little, like I say that I give myself 4 times out of the year to be bitter about the fact that like I'm the sole parent. I'm the parent that's doing the most. And I, you know, it's just me, really. I don't want to say it's just me alone because, again, my boyfriend, he is like like, when you bitches be like, my man, that's really a man. But I don't feel alone because I have my boyfriend. But in regards to the person that assists in making him, you know, I am like the sole parent. So recently I had just, you know, started my job. My son is sick. I have to take off. Like, things are not just going accordingly. And I just feel like, damn, you know, when it comes to that other person, I don't have that much help. And I, you know, I feel like maybe I needed, not to make this video, but I needed to talk about it, to let it go, because I don't call out for help. I don't bother the other side. You know, I just do what God asks of me. Be a good mom. You know, do what you can. And, you know, period. Like, that's on me. We know when it's his day to see God, and God says, you know, were you the best father? You know, that's between him and God. You know, I did what I was supposed to do. But, you know, there's some days where I just be like, damn, like, you know, step it up. Step your cookies up. You got this whole boy, and you barely do the bare minimum. Yes. You know. So yeah, I think I was like drawn to make this video to let it go. Talking about your problems sometimes, and not a problem, it's not like a problem, but talking about things that you went in the past is a really good way. Damn. To let it go. And I just wanted to share, you know, might be moms or a girl that watches this and could be going through some things like that, could be feeling that way sometimes. Wait, I'm gonna come back and show y'all my hair when I'm done, though. I'm done. My hair, just a little Excuse my bed. I just put like some smell good spray on and I'm letting it air out. But my hair's done.
Oatmeal done?
No, but my hair's done, so I'm gonna make your oatmeal. Sound good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, do you like my hair?
Because I do.
You do? I love you. I love you think. My hair is done. Just a little 2-strand. Nothing major. I enjoyed our little circle time. I'm eating some chips right now. But what I want to leave y'all with is
Hey, got some chips here.
you do? Anyway, what I want to leave y'all with is, I don't want to say and be cliche and be like, oh, love yourself. I would just say, like, follow the person who you think you can be. Like, follow your higher self. Honor your higher self. If the person you see in the future looks like this or looks like that, honor that. Go toward that. Drop off whatever you need to drop off that doesn't look like on the path to where you're trying to get. Because I feel like self-love can be a little cliche. It can be a little vague. Yeah, honor your highest self. My boyfriend, sometimes he asks me if you could say anything to like your younger self, like your little girl, what would you say? And I told him to do more things that you love or that you enjoy or things that make you happy. My eyebrows are crazy. And I should go to Owens Mills to get my eyebrows done. That's where I went last time. And I really don't want to go back to nobody else. But Owens Mills like an hour away from me. I'm going to see what it do though. It can be a little vague. Oh, he said, I say, do more things that make you happy. Accept yourself. Accept that you are multidimensional or you are multifaceted, and don't try to fit yourself into a box. And just like, I feel like the more you do things that you love, the more it like molds you to be your best self or like gets you out of an old shell that no longer serves you. You want some of my chips?
I'm so greedy.
Boy, here, let me see your bowl.
Yes, I'm greedy.
Oh, you put your own chips in? Child, one thing about that first child. INDEPEN. My son is super independent. And I love that for him because
that's why, cause that's why I put my own chips in the refrigerator.
because he got his own chips. I don't know if they was in the cabinet, they was not in the refrigerator, but he got his own chips. Like, whenever my son be like, Mommy, I want a snack, I just tell him go get it himself. Getting it himself looks like getting a chair, scooting it up to the cabinets, hopping on the chair, hopping on the counter, getting in the kitchen. Because, you know, some things you gotta learn how to do on your own. And I don't feel like, I've never one of those moms be like, oh my God, that's dangerous. He's a boy, he gonna be doing way more dangerous shit than that. Okay?
I don't know why guys get mad.
A little far from the cabinet, it's gonna humble you. It's gonna humble you before it like destroy, like you'll be fine. That's another thing about being a mom and parenthood is I feel like this is my son life. So whatever you want to do, I'm just here to support you. This is your life. You got to answer to God for you, not me. You have to grow up and be your own self, not me. I'm just here to nurture you, give you the game, love you, be nice, clothe you, feed you, bathe you, keep you clean, keep you out of dangerous situations. And, you know, this is your life. Whatever you want to do. If you want to throw temper tantrums 50-11 times a day, that's your business. Okay? If you want to, like, my son has a big red line in his room that he drew, I think, with marker or crayon. You think I'm mad about that? That's his room. That's his life. I'm not saying that I just let him do it. Obviously, I wasn't looking, but hey, zoo you boo. And another thing, it's like my son has written on his wall. He has written on his door. The solution to that is paint. Okay, I ain't too worried up about like a security deposit. I mean, I live with a 4-year-old. What would you expect? Seriously. What would you expect the 4-year-old to do? In his room by himself with a bunch of markers and crayons. I'm drawing the paper. That is too much like right. It's too much like right for a 4-year-old. So, I like don't sweat the small stuff when it comes to being a mom. But that's what I would say. Going forward and getting older, I feel like the responses used to be like, oh, love yourself and respect yourself. But now it's just like, honor your higher self. When you see your higher self look like, do you think she would be doing that? No. Another thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. We are on this floating rock trying to figure out how to navigate life. Ask for help. I'm not ashamed to ask for help, especially since I've been a mom. I will never be one of those moms suffering in silence. Bitch, I'm asking for help. I don't care. I'm not like too big, too grown, too this to ask for help. Bitch, I need help. I'm tired. I'm doing it alone. I'm doing it whatever. I'm doing it fast. I'm doing it slow. And I need help. Nothing wrong. There are some people that would die for you to ask for them to help you. I know we have to have discernment. And, you know, some people that want to help you just to be like, I did this for you. For them to be like, I did this for you. But hey, oh my God, y'all. Not me being childish. I done got dye. I wanted to dye my hair pink. A couple strands of my hair pink one time. But it didn't end up working out like that. Because I'm not a professional. Actually, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, ask for help. Honor your highest self. And do more things that make you feel closer to yourself. Like, do more things that make you feel closest to the best you. To where you're cracking up and laughing and you're eating good and you're having fun and you're wearing things that make you happy or you're being around people that make you happy. Do more of that. Okay? I'm signing off. I'm actually about to take a nap before I start editing because I slept really bad last night. Amazon decided to deliver my stuff at 5:04 in the morning. I don't even know Amazon was working like that. Then what? But anyway, I'm signing off. That is a little more insight about my life and about me. And I will catch y'all next week on time. I'm going to catch y'all next week on time.